Two heads, one tail, yang yin. Two tails, one head, yang yang. Two tails, one head, yang yang. Two heads, one tail, yang yin. 2 heads, 1 tail, Yang Yin. Two heads, 1 tail, Yang Yin. Or bottom trigram will be read as broken, solid, solid, or we could call it open, whole, whole. This is the trigram Xun, wind, or wood. Xun is both wind and living plants, whatever penetrates, spreads, and grows, shaping itself to the space available, or shaping that space to its own nature. She is responsive flexibility, sensitively improvising and adapting. Like the wind, she can always find a way through because she never creates any resistance, and so her influence is subtle and gradual, but far-reaching. In the family of trigrams, Xun is the eldest daughter, gentle and submissive. She belongs to the southeast and to late spring and early summer. Our top trigram is Kun, earth, and it is read as broken, 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 or open, open, open. Kun is earth, open to receive and support what comes to her, providing for its full potential. She makes inspiration manifest, gives it form, and sustains its growth. Earth is available to be used, ready to lend her strength to the work without limit. She protects and accepts all things in their totality, present and potential, in an unconditional embrace. Earth is mother, found in the southwest in the harvest time of late summer and early autumn. We only have a single hexagram that we'll be working with. So that puts extra emphasis on that hexagram. Xun, wind or wood, below Kun, earth, is 20, hexagram 20. Oh, sorry. Kun, earth, is above Xun, wind or wood. So that's actually 46. We'll be getting the succinct definition of this hexagram from the Taoist I-ming, written by I-ming in 1796 as a Taoist adept. And then we'll move on to Hilary Barrett right away, and then to James Dekorne, who has synthesized several commentaries on the I-ming, and then we'll bounce back into the Taoist I-ming. Rising, hexagram 46, climbing from lowliness to the heights, carefully watching over the development process. Now, in Hilary Barrett's I-ming, Walking Your Path, Creating Your Future, we will read our hexagram 46, which she calls Pushing Upward. Key questions. Is this something you can commit yourself to? Where might it take you? What is the next step? Oracle. Pushing upward, creating success from the source. Making use of seeing great people. Do not worry. Set forth to the south. Good fortune. The old Chinese character for pushing upward shows a small ladle used to measure out offerings and official salaries. It suggests a step-by-step ascent, one measure at a time. This is a vigorous, active time. Come from the source of inspiration and involve it in your work. Make good use of seeing great people, whether in the flesh or with your inner vision, to charge you with the energy to begin your ascent. Use them to inspire you with a vision of possibilities and for information and help on how to move on upward. Hard work and steep slopes lie ahead, but the oracle reassures you that you need not worry or doubt. Instead, set your face to the south, as the ruler does. Align your initiatives with the natural order, which can be read in the stars and the compass, and set out towards warmth, light, and activity. Image. Center of the earth gives birth to wood, pushing upward. A noble one with patient character builds up small things to attain the high and great. A seed germinates and the plant begins to grow in the center of the earth. A noble one has the qualities of both the earth and the seedling. Flexible, feeling her way upward, small and resilient, and also yielding and nurturing this growth with all the patient power of earth. She understands that pulling the seedling will not make it grow faster, and so the many small things she achieves will amount to great things in the end. Sequence. Pushing upward follows from hexagram 45, gathering. Assembling and moving higher is called pushing upward, and so pushing upward follows. When people and energies are gathered and have something higher to aim for, then this naturally translates into striving upward. A group of people motivate one another, or an individual gathers herself to muster energy to climb towards the goal. Now to turn to James Dekorne, who is a practitioner of the Tao himself. He has synthesized, as I said, several different commentaries on the I-ming, and put in some of his own editor's notes and some quotes from various sources, including Western sources, such as the Kabbalah. He calls hexagram 46 pushing upward. Other titles might be the symbol of rising and advancing, ascending, ascension, rising, promotion, advancement, sprouting from the earth, organic growth, judgment, leg. Pushing upward means successful progress, have no anxiety about meeting with the great man, and advance to the south is fortunate. Ritsama/Karcher, ascending, spring growing, availing of visualizing great people, no cares, the south chastising significant. This hexagram describes your situation in terms of rising to a higher level. It emphasizes that setting a higher goal and working toward it step by step is the adequate way to handle it. To be in accord with the time you are told to ascend. The image, leg, wood growing in the earth, the image of pushing upward. the superior man accumulates small increments of virtue until it becomes high and great. Ritsuma/Karcher, earth, center giving birth to wood, ascending. A chunsu, or chief son, or superior person, uses yielding to actualize Tao. A chunsu uses amassing the small to use the high great. And to actualize Tao is the ability to follow the course traced by the ongoing process of the cosmos, linked with acquire, D, which is acquiring that which makes a being become what it is meant to be. Wu, trees grow from the earth. This is ascension. Thus the chunsi, or chief son, or superior person, diligently cultivates his virtues little by little to become tall and large like trees growing. Commentary. Confucius/Leg. The magnetic line ascends as opportunity permits. We have flexibility, obedience, and a dynamic line below with his magnetic correlate above. This means successful progress. See the great man. His will is accomplished in the south. Leg. The character for this hexagram means advancing in an upward direction or ascending. The figure symbolizes the promotion of an able officer to the highest pinnacle of distinction. The action of the dynamic second line is tempered by being in the magnetic central position of the lower trigram. As the representative of pushing upward, he is forceful yet modest, and the magnetic fifth line ruler welcomes his advance. The officer therefore has the qualities that fit him to ascend, as well as a favorable opportunity to do so. After he has met with the great man in line 5, advance to the south will be fortunate. Chu Hsi says that this is equivalent to advancing forwards. Since the south is the region of brightness and warmth, the progress will be easy and agreeable. The lower trigram symbolizes wood, and its weak first line is the root of a tree buried in the earth of the upper trigram. The gradual growth of this root pushes the trunk upward as the circumstances of time permit. Notes and paraphrases. Judgment. Ascend in accordance with the will of the self. Turn toward clarity. The superior man grows a little every day. The image of the 46th hexagram is of a plant growing in the earth, gradually pushing upward toward the sun. That an advance to the south is fortunate means that as all plants turn southward toward the sun, their source of nourishment, so should we turn toward the light and clarity of the great man, or self, within us. The upward advancement of the work is an organic process. There's no such thing as instant enlightenment. The many stories and parables of instant satori, which are common in the Zen Buddhist tradition, are actually just dramatic accounts of the final few moments' resolution that come after a lifetime of slow and patient devotion. The work progresses at the pace of a tree. What started out as an acorn eventually becomes a forest giant, but it doesn't happen overnight. A quote from Edgar Cayce in Book of Changes. Remember ever that mind in its entirety is ever the builder, for it is step by step, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, that the attaining is accomplished in the mental, the spiritual, the material applications of an entity in this material world. This slow growth is an accumulation of countless gathering togethers, as depicted in the preceding hexagram, of which pushing upward is the upside-down image. It is estimated that an adult human being grows from a single cell to about 100 billion cells through a process of 50 billion mitotic divisions. It is interesting to observe that 100 billion is the scientific estimate of the number of stars in any given galaxy. If we apply the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, to this relationship of macrocosm to microcosm, we get the image of our solar system as a single atom in the body of a galactic entity. That should put the work into perspective. A quote from Origen in Homile in Leviticum. Understand that thou art a second little world, and that the sun and the moon are within thee, and also the stars. And now to turn, as I said, to the Taoist I Ching by I-ming, written in 1796 as a Taoist adept. We'll start in the text section, and then we'll move into the commentary section after that. He calls Hexagram 46 rising. Rising is greatly developmental. It calls for seeing a great person, so there will be no grief. An expedition south brings good fortune. Explanation. Rising means climbing from lowliness to the heights. As for the qualities of the hexagram, above is earth, following, and below is wind, entering. Progressing at an easy pace, going in accord with the time, neither clinging to nor departing, one gradually enters true eternity. Therefore, it is called rising. This hexagram represents carefully watching the firing process. It follows on the previous hexagram, meeting. In meeting, docility enters into strength. When yang culminates, yin arises, so aberrant energy increases daily while sound energy decreases daily. The influence of habit becomes second nature, and one gradually enters an unchanging state of folly. What is the reason? Simply because the yang has lost its strength, the yin is no longer obedient. In spiritual alchemy, before restoring yang, it is necessary to make yin docile. Once yin becomes submissive, human desires do not arise, and correct awareness is always present. Gradually progressing in an orderly manner, it is then possible to reach being from non-being, to arrive at fulfillment from emptiness. Learning below and arriving above, one comes to understand how to skillfully restore the primal without difficulty. Therefore, rising has a path of great development. But this highly developmental rising, which is a matter of appropriating yin and yang and taking over creative evolution, transcending the ordinary and entering the holy, involves a subtle firing process and a long course of work. It cannot be carried out by any of the dilettantes and private experimenters who practice blindly. It requires the verbal instruction and mental transmission of a genuine teacher, true knowledge and certain insight before it is possible to go straight ahead without obstacles and obstructions. Therefore, taking the path of rising calls for seeing a great person. A great person is a sage who has completed the great path. Great people develop themselves and develop others. Everything they say has a reason. Like the wind getting into everything, they can open up people's knowledge and wisdom, like the earth nurturing everything. They can save people from calamities. When you use them after seeing a great person, the medicines are real. The firing process is orderly. Thus one can be without grief. Journeying far toward the light, each step has a step's benefit. Each day has a day's accomplishment. Rising from lowliness to the heights, going from the shallow to the depths, eventually one will advance to the realm of the sages. What can compare to that fortune? And now, 46 from the commentary. Rising, earth above, wind below. Trees grow on the earth, rising. Thus do superior people follow virtue, accumulating the small to lofty greatness. Rising is growth and ascent. Above is earth, below is wind, which is associated with wood. This is trees growing on the earth. Trees gradually growing up from the earth is the image of rising. What superior people see in this is that when people are unable to make their virtue lofty and great, it is because they do not know how to follow virtue and instead go against it. Not following virtue, abandoning what is near at hand and pursuing what is far away, not having a substantial basis, they never will grow and rise. Therefore, superior people follow virtue and accumulate the small to lofty greatness. Accumulation is gradual elevation. The small is the way to the great. According with the time and according with reason is called following virtue. If one can follow such virtue carefully and conscientiously, doing even a little good and getting rid of even slight faults, getting stronger with persistence, working consistently, steadily accumulating effort, from the small, one will eventually reach lofty greatness. This is like trees growing on the earth. First they are in the earth, then they gradually emerge, gradually grow and branch out, and eventually become tall and stout, capable of serving as timbers. Tall, stout timbers cannot be produced in a day and a night. If students will not work steadily, imagining they have attained the Tao as soon as they make a little bit of progress, wanting to enter the inner sanctum before they have even gone through the door, in this frame of mind they do not follow virtue but follow greed. To reach a state of lofty greatness, the hexagram image indicates that gradual progress and harmonious action develop together. Herein lies what is known as profound attainment of self-realization.